Okay, folks. So today we are diving deep into a topic that it's both fascinating and a little bit creepy.
Yeah, you could say that.
We're talking about shrunken heads,
Oh,
specifically the process of how they were made, and the cultural beliefs behind this practice. And to guide us through this journey, we have with us today a true expert in cultural anthropology and rituals.
hi. Glad to be here.
Our source material is an excerpt from an article called "Here's Exactly How Shrunken Heads Are Made." Um,
Okay.
and just a heads up to our listeners, this one might get a little intense.
Yeah, it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
So maybe not one to listen to while eating.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But it is super interesting, like these shrunken heads, or sansas, that's what they were traditionally called.
Shan says.
Yeah, they weren't just some weird trophy. You know what I mean? They had a deep spiritual significance to the Shuar people of Ecuador.
See, that's what I find so fascinating about this whole thing, like the cultural and spiritual aspect. It's not just about, well, it's more than just the macabre part.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole belief system there.
What blows my mind is that someone actually recreated this entire process
I know, right?
to understand it better.
Yeah, like who volunteers for that?
Well, in our source material, the anthropologist Dr. Tobias Holton,
Okay.
he seems pretty dedicated to his research.
It must be.
Right. I mean, this is some serious dedication.
It is. That's what I love about this field, though. You
Mm.
have these researchers who just go all in to try and understand these practices.
Yeah, and, he wanted to document the traditional method meticulously and then use modern technology to basically reverse engineer a shrunken head.
Kind of like a CSI for ancient rituals.
Exactly. But I'm guessing he didn't use a real human head for this experiment.
No, no, no. You can't just go around shrinking human heads these days.
Good point.
Ethics and all that. He used a pig's head.
Oh, okay. A pig's head.
Yeah, it turns out that the anatomy of a pig's head is pretty similar to a human head.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's a good substitute for scientific study. So the article goes into a step-by-step breakdown of the whole process, and it's pretty intense.
Yeah, and you know what's really wild is how every single step is connected to the Shuar people's beliefs.
Oh, yeah.
Like the first step is removing the skull.
Okay, so they would take the skull out?
Yep, because they believed that the skull wouldn't shrink.
Interesting. And was there a symbolic meaning behind that as well?
Oh, definitely. For the Shuar, it was about separating the physical body from the spirit.
So they were trying to isolate the essence of their enemy in a way.
Exactly. And then after removing the skull, they would seal the mouth shut with these wooden pegs.
Why wooden pegs?
Well, they believed that the mouth was like the escape route for the enemy's spirit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so sealing it shut was essential to keep that spirit trapped inside. And they did the same thing with the eyelids, sewing them shut.
So it's all about containment, controlling that spirit.
Exactly. Every single step was deliberate, tied to these beliefs.
So after they sealed the eyes and mouth and they boiled the head.
Yeah, boiling was a crucial part of the shrinking process. The heat caused the collagen fibers in the skin to contract, which made the head smaller.
That makes sense scientifically.
Yeah.
But think about it, like Shuar people figured that out without any modern scientific knowledge.
It really shows you how deeply they understood their environment and the resources around them.
Yeah, it's impressive. And the shrinking didn't just stop at boiling, did it?
Nope. They would also use hot pebbles and sand for further drying and shrinking.
Wow, and they'd use these materials to actually like mold and shape the head
Yep, to get that desired size and form.
and get the final touch, they would iron the skin.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Talk about combining different techniques.
It's a testament to their ingenuity and skill.
And so Dr. Holton was able to recreate this entire process.
He was. He actually created a smaller, shrunken pig head.
Incredible.
Mm.
But it doesn't end there, does it?
No, this is when the story takes a really interesting turn.
Okay, tell me more.
So Dr. Holton didn't just want to recreate the process. He also wanted to use modern technology, specifically computer modeling, to try and reconstruct the face from a real shrunken head.
Wait, so he's like trying to bring back the image of the warrior the head belonged to.
That's exactly it. It's this amazing blend of ancient tradition and modern science.
Wow, it really makes you think about what's possible when you combine different fields of study.
Absolutely.
This deep dive has definitely been a wild ride.
It does.
I mean, we're talking about a practice that's both unsettling
Yeah.
and culturally significant. It really highlights the complex relationship between rituals, beliefs, and the human desire to understand the world around us.
And I think that's what makes this topic so fascinating. It challenges us to confront our own perceptions and to consider the different ways that cultures throughout history have tried to make sense of life and death.
and maybe to understand each other a little better.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Sounds good.
But for all of you listening out there, I want to leave you with this final thought. If you could use technology to reconstruct the face from any shrunken head, which one would you choose and why? Think about it, the history, the stories these heads could tell, and maybe in a future deep dives we could explore the ethical considerations of such practices. Because, as we've seen with shrunken heads, things aren't always as simple as they seem.
There's always more to uncover.
Always. Until next time.
See you then.